Okay, we're starting out here with Creeper Kenneth Copeland, and we're going to make some connections between him. He's going to be doing this weird blood ritual, and then we're going to connect it with Michael Flynn, New Age, Satan, Lucifer, and all that good stuff.
So that the next time you take communion, this will be in your minds.
This is your cup. Yes, sir. This is my cup. So, put it in there. Okay. You notice he's cutting his hand. That's the cutting. And he's symbolically squeezing blood into that cup. And then the same thing. Jesus said, take this cup. This is my blood of the new covenant. He mixed our blood. That's right. Which is his and which is mine. And we could never separate that. You can't separate that. Look out here. Now, this is good. Wonderful. That's it. Now, at the communion table. Yes, sir. He said, this is my blood of the new covenant. All of you drink all of it. Judas had to drink that. Yes, sir.
And I want you to be this way every time you take communion, and you ought to take it a lot. A lot.
So this symbolizes that he's drinking his blood and Jesus' blood too, mixed together.
Now his blood is in my body.
Yes, sir.
It's in there. His blood is mixed with my blood. Can you see it? I'm so honored to be in his company. And so right now, with Gene Bailey's help, I would like for General Michael Flynn to join me on this platform, please.
So here we have QAnon, Michael Flynn, Theosophist, at a church again, deceiving Christians.
Are probably stronger today than we've ever been in our lives because of our faith. And the one thing that I tell people as I get into this story about not only who I am, but it's really a story about America, because this is what everything that we are today has to be about our country, has to be about our country, has to be about our country. And I will tell you that there's one thing that is more precious than freedom, vastly more precious than freedom. They can take away your freedom. Your faith, they can never take away. We are your instrument of those sevenfold rays and all your archangels, all of them.
I am here, O God, and I am the instrument of those sevenfold rays and
In Fort Worth, Texas, talking about a man who sacrificed, who gave up everything. And here we are talking about him tonight. You're going to talk about him for the remainder of this week, and you're going to talk about him for the rest of your lives. And I want people in this country, because there's a lot of Christians that are not awake yet.
Does that sound familiar? Not awake yet. I'm telling you, folks, this is the Q movement. This is the new.
In your name, and the name of your legions, we are freeborn, and we shall remain freeborn.
in the name of Archangel Michael and his legions, I am freeborn, and I shall remain freeborn.
Okay, so what are these 7 rays that he's talking about, and why is it such a big deal? Here's an article I'm going to read from. It's by Stephen Bankars, a former New Ager who became a Christian. And he's explaining about the Ascended Masters, which correspond to the 7 rays. It's called Proof the Ascended Masters Are Demons in Disguise. Ascended Masters, or the Great White Brotherhood, or Secret Chiefs, are believed to be spiritually enlightened beings who in past incarnations were ordinary humans but have went through spiritual transformation to the point of reaching ascension. There are 7 rays of ascension, and all of the supposed ascended masters are categorized under these rays according to their spiritual qualities, characteristics, and type of message they taught. They all have surpassed the birth cycle and have more good karma than bad karma, and no longer need to be reborn since they have surpassed 6th level initiation. Aleister Crowley was inspired by the Ascended Masters' teachings in the Great White Brotherhood. One of the secret chiefs, or Ascended Masters, that Crowley believed in was named Aiwass. This is the being who gave him his entire satanic philosophy and telepathically communicated to him his satanic book titled The Book of the Law, which stated, "Do as thou wilt is the highest law." This book is a staple in any Satanist and Black Magician's library. The Ascended Masters were first popularized in a book published under Lucifer Publishing Company, founded by a Satanist. This is the book written by Alice Bailey, or channeled through Alice Bailey, about the Great White Brotherhood and the Ascended Masters, by Lucifer Publishing Company. The story of the Ascended Masters perfectly mirrors the story of the fallen angels in the Bible, and they worship Satan. On pages 32 and 33 of Initiation Solar and Human, which was channeled to Alice Bailey by Ascended Master Joel Kuhl, she talks about where these masters are located and how they came here in the first place. Quote, "After the great descent of the spiritual existences, the masters, to the earth, the work they planned to do was systematized, offices were apportioned, and the process of evolution in all the departments of nature were brought under the conscious-wise guidance of this initial brotherhood. This hierarchy of brothers of light still exists, and the work goes steadily on. They are all in physical existence, either in dense physical bodies, such as many of the masters employ, or in etheric bodies, such as the more exalted helpers and the Lord of the world occupy. Several of the masters in physical bodies dwell in the Himalayan mountains in a secluded spot called Shigasti or something, far from the ways of men, but the greater number are scattered all over the world, dwelling in different places in various nations, unrecognized and unknown, yet forming each in his own place a focal point for the energy of the Lord of the world. Lord of the world is Satan, even they think so. In Ephesians 6:12, the Bible says, "We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers, over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Okay, so these Ascended Masters, 7 rays, are the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. The Bible refers to anything that is above the earth as being the heavens. So what Paul is talking about is a kingdom of the air above the physical earth plane that is occupied by Satan and his fallen angels, aka the etheric plane. So these so-called masters who gave Crowley his satanic philosophy exist within the etheric planes and serve the Lord of the world. And the Bible tells us that demons exist within heavenly places and serve the God of this world. Again, Alice Bailey said, after the great descent of the spiritual existences, the masters, to the earth, implies that the ascended masters descended together and fell to earth at the same time. In her book, The Externalization of the Hierarchy, on page 118, she says this, quote, "When the sons of God who responded to the divine urge to experience, to serve, and to sacrifice separated themselves from the sons of God who responded to no such inspiration, unquote. So this is literally a direct reference to fallen angels. These ascended masters have a history that mirrors the fallen angels exactly. They serve Lucifer/Satan, which Theosophists themselves tell us, and were first popularized by the Theosophical Society, founded by a Satanist Freemason under Lucifer Publishing Company. They gave Crowley his Satanism, and they make a mockery of Jesus and give us a false promises of ascension while promoting war, eugenics, and racism. Okay, now here we are at Reawaken America tour. General Flynn and Team America is coming. 50% off for all pastors. Sponsored by Charisma Media. So here we have all these pro-Trump, anti-vax speakers and doctors, and of course General Flynn. So not only is he getting us to worship fallen angels at church, here he is, Mr. Patriot, deceiving the masses. This is a trailer from a video that I will put in the description box below, showing how all these pro-Trump, anti-jib-jab doctors are all connected. They're all on each other's shows. That guy, Zelenko, he was even talking, there he is, about the no-hide laws. Anyway, they're all connected. And they're all going on all these different appearances together. And they're also involved in a lot of like New Age stuff. Remember her? I highly suggest that you watch this video. I'll link a few below just to see how this New Age stuff is just creeping in. Look at that from every angle. The Academy of Divine Knowledge.
Definitely believe that. We are all energy, frequency, and vibration. I believe in that quote from Nikola Tesla. And I tell people that right now you can see that collective consciousness is in that fear state, that it's one of the lowest frequencies possible. And that's what these beings live on. They live in that fear frequency. So does nanotechnology. So does this sci-fi technology. It's on a low frequency. But we, thank goodness, are brilliant, beautiful beings of light. And our frequency, when we accept who we are and remember who we are through the heart, which is that love frequency, is the highest frequency. So we don't have to have the knowledge of the nanotechnology. We don't have to have that. We just have to actually tap in and remember who we are, and that light that will come from us, it will shine through our eyes and our heart when we finally remember who we are. That's that Christ light. That's that love frequency. That's the connectedness with God. And so once we...
Okay, let's see what this is about. Welcome to the Academy of Divine Knowledge. We are a global academy focused on catalyzing humanity's conscious evolution through expansive interviews, workshops, Q&As, discussions, meditations, and teachings. Our intention is to facilitate the awakening process in a comfortable way through the knowledge, experience, compassion, and love. If you are looking to access a higher level of awareness and catalyze your ascension process, then ADK is the place for you. This is not the Star of David. Here it is in Theosophy. Here it is in Kabbalah. Here it is in an occult website. It says, the use of the hexagram in occult practices is attributed to the 7 old planets outlined in astrology. Hexagrams are commonly used both as talismans and for conjuring spirits in the practices of sorcery and witchcraft. Hexagrams are also prominent in alchemy, chakra, divination, demonology, Freemasonry, and theosophy. The 6-pointed star, the Star of David, prominent in rabbinic lore, is also found in the Hindu, Buddhist, and Jainist cosmologies. Just to make it clear why it is such a big deal and very dangerous for Christians to be hooking up with New Agers, this is what they believe. This is the ancient wisdom. Helena Petrovna Blavatsky said, and now it stands proven that Satan, or the red fiery dragon, the lord of phosphorus, and Lucifer, or light bearer, it is in us. It is our mind. She also said, it is Satan who is the god of our planet and the only god. And then we have Aleister Crowley. This serpent Satan is not the enemy of man, but he who made gods of our race, knowing good and evil. He bade, know thyself, and taught initiation. And Alice Bailey said, death is not a disaster to be feared. The work of the destroyer is not really cruel or undesirable. Therefore there is much destruction committed by the custodians of the plan, and much evil turned into good. Alice Bailey, in an address at the Arcane School Conference in Geneva, Switzerland, suggested that the Shambhala force, that's where they all live, in the mountains or whatever, the force from the invisible dimensions, led by the Lord Maitreya, will be destructive. It will also, she said, eject unbelievers from the earth. The decision to release the Shambhala force during the century into direct contact with human kingdom is one of the final and most compelling acts of preparation for the new age. The Shambhala force is destructive and ejective, inspiring new understanding of the plan. It is this force which will bring about that tremendous crisis, the initiation of the race into the mysteries of the ages. Alice Bailey, the externalizing of the mysteries. This is what's happening. They're externalizing the mysteries. That's why Michael Flynn is going around at churches saying this stuff. She also said, let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. And her husband, 32nd degree Freemason, Foster Bailey, said, quote, the new civilization in Aquarius will inevitably develop a quality appropriate to what we consider most valuable. Our children and men will have to live with the New Age standards. Those who do not will end up as irreconcilable outcasts. And here's a little more modern guy, a New Ager, and he had a position at the UN Planetary Initiative. He said, no one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer. No one will enter the New Age unless he will take a Luciferian initiation. This, I think, is what the mark is, not a chick. And here's Barbara Marx Hubbard. She's a very famous, wrote a lot of books, New Age lady. She was also ran for vice president back in the 80s. She's a bigwig. She's channeling here. This is some spirit speaking through her. Out of the full spectrum of human personality, 1/4 is electing to transcend. 1/4 is resistant to election. They are unattracted by life ever evolving. Now, as we approach the quantum shift from creative human to co-creative human, the destructive 1/4 must be eliminated from the social body. Fortunately, you, dearly beloved, are not responsible for this act. We are. We are in charge of God's selection process for planet Earth. He selects, we destroy. We are the riders of the pale horse, death.
one name that can keep you out of hell, and it's the name of Jesus. The name of Jesus.